everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back to another tutorial. It's me, IG, and I'm back with a new tutorial. If today is your first time of stopping on my channel, you are on the right place. You are welcome. My old and new subscribers, you guys are amazing, and if you have not subscribed, consider subscribing. Join this amazing family and lift my channel to the highest point. Today's tutorial, guys, I want us to DIY a princess dart blouse with side peplum and pleated flounce sleeve. That is what we are going to DIY. But our main tutorial is the side peplum, how to attach the side peplum. You can see some of our blouses these days are no longer with the round peplum, but the two sides. So that is what we are going to achieve with the pleated flounce sleeve. As you can see, right before me, I've cut out my panels. I've made a well-detailed tutorial on how to cut out a princess dart bustier blouse or top. I've made a well-detailed tutorial on that. I'm going to link it on the description box below for you to check it out. So now I've cut out my panels. These are my panels. That's the center front. And I've also lined them and also put them wording to make the bust to stand. Do you see it? This is my panel. I've cut out my panel. This is the front panel. Do you see it? And this is the wording that I put to make it a lighter one to make the bustier stand. So these are the front panel and this is the side panel. The side panel is also going to be a princess dart panel, and I've also cut out the linings. Do you see it? This is the side panel, and I've also cut out the linings of the front and back panel together. So now I'm quickly going to fix them together for us to achieve our today's tutorial. Now guys, I have quickly fixed our panels together. That is the front and that is the back. I've joined them together. So now it's time to achieve our side peplum. That is on the side. The peplum is going to be on the side like what you are seeing on the screen. So the next thing to do, you must put your panels together. Get your shape ready, because when you fix your side peplum, to lose it, if there's any mistake, it's going to be difficult. So it's better that you put your panels together, take the right measurement of yourself or whoever you are making it for. Make sure it is accurate before you start adding the side peplum. So now the measurements are correct. For instance, let us see the measurement we are working with. The measurement we are working with, the bust is 50. And when you divide 50 by 2, you are going to have 25. And here we have our 25. Do you see it? This is our 25, so the bust is correct. And the waist we are working with is 48. Divide it in 2, you are going to have 24, which is here is our 24. And the hip we are working with is 56. Divide it in 2, you are going to have 28. Do you see it? Everything corresponds. So now it is the time to achieve our peplum. So what you have to do, because it is a side, it's going to come from the center here. It's going to go in this form. Do you see it? So what you have to do is to take the front panel, just fold it in 2, and also the neck. I have achieved the neck. That's the neck. That's the neck we are working with. Do you see it? So now what you have to do is to fold it in 2 from the center of the front. Fold it in 2. That is the zip. Do you see it? That's the zip and that's the center panel. This is the way to achieve this peplum we are working with now. That is the way to achieve it. This is the side. That is the armhole side. That is the side here. Is here. So now when you now fold it in 2, do you see how we fold it? We now fold it. This is the zip side and this is the front center part. So we fold it in 2 in this way. So the next thing to do now is to achieve our peplum, to construct how the peplum is going to be on this blouse. So now from the center front to where we added our that in the front, we have 3.5 inches, and this 3.5 inches, I'm going to take 1.5 from the center. I'm going from the center here, I'm going to mark 1.5, so that on this side is also going to be 1.5. So when you open it up, you have 3 inches. That is when you open it up in this form in your front, you will have a space of 3 inches here. Do you see it? So now fold it back. We are going to do the same at the back. So from this zip side, come in also by 1.5 inch. And on the other side of the zip, come in also by 1.5 inch. Do you see it? So now our peplum is going to start from here till here, from this where we came 1.5 inch from the center front to the back side. So this is where our peplum is going to be. From here to here is where our peplum is going to be. And what is the length of this peplum we want? Let us measure from the center here, that is from the waist. So from your waist, now come up by 1 inch. That is, I'm going to start the peplum at 17 inches from the shoulder here. So now I'm going to connect it. From this 17 inches, I'm going to connect it to the side that we came in by 1.5 inch from the zip, and also the side that we came in from 1.5 inch from the center front. So now I'm going to use my curve to curve it. So I'm going to curve it in this way. I'm using my curve now to curve it. So from this center here, I'm going to curve down to the 1.5 inch with my curve. Do you see it? And also place it back on this side and curve it. Do you see it? So this is where we are going to place our peplum. So our peplum is going to come in this form. Do you see how our peplum is going to come? So what's the measurement that we have here that our peplum is going to be? The measurement is 7 inches. But remember, we are going to still fold the down part of it. So we are going to take 1/2 inch to fold the hem. We have not folded because we are going to turn it with lining. I don't want the lining to be together with the body when sewing the peplum. That is why I have not add the lining. So after adding the peplum, I will now add the lining. So now, do you see from here we have 7 inches. That is what we are going to work with, 7 inches. And to add it, we are going to add 1 inch to this 7 inches to make it 8 inches. But remember, when it's coming down here, we are going to trim it. So now let us take the radius that we are going to use to cut out our peplum. So we are going to measure what we have from here to here. That is our radius. So now let us measure what we have. We have 26.5 inches. So 26.5 inches is our point. Let's measure it again. 26 our. Now let's measure it again. Let's call it 27 inches. We have 27 inches. 27 inches is our radius. And this 27 inches, we are going to divide it by 6.28, which is the standard measurement to divide your circle, because we are cutting out this in circle. So 27 inches divided by 6.28, we are going to have 4.2 inches. So this 4.2 inches, we are going to add it to the 8 inches, which is the length of the peplum we are going to cut out. The length of the peplum we are going to cut out is 8 inches. So altogether, we are going to cut out approximately 12 inches as our peplum. So now I'm going to cut it out. Now this is our material. Then we will fold to cut it out, the 12 inches. Because I want to pleat this peplum, I'm going to cut out our peplum in two. That is our panel the circle, I'm going to cut it out in two to join it together so that I'll have enough material to pleat it. So that means that our peplum is going to be double, so for me to pleat it, because I want to pleat it to make it to be more full. So I'm going to cut out 2 peplum for each side. So now let us see our, if we have 12 inches. Now we have 12 inches. So I've folded it first in this form, and I'll fold it again. Here is my 12 inches. So I'm going to mark it 12. Here is 12. It's white, it's not showing. Yeah, here is 12. So I'm going to mark out 12 all round. Now guys, you see our 12 inches. So now I'm going to cut out more 3 of this and also cut out the lining. Remember, we are going to pleat it. That is why I'm cutting it out each double to have enough material to pleat it. So when I cut it open, I'll join 2 to one side, 2 to one side. We are going to do all together. So now let us cut it out completely. Now guys, I have cut out our 4 pieces of circle. That's it here, and that's the linings. So it's now complete. And remember, we cut out 12 inches, the radius plus the length of the flail that we are working with. So now this is the 12 inches that we cut out. Do you see it? Altogether is 12 inches. So the next thing to measure out now is our 4 inches. That is the radius of where we are going to attach our peplum to the blouse. That is the 4 inches. That is what we are going to cut out now. That's our 4 inches. So we are going to cut it out. Do you see it? That's it. We have cut it out. So I'm going to cut it open also on the other panels, and now cut it open. Do you see it? This is our peplum that we are going to attach. Remember, I said I'm going to pleat it. So each side is going to have 2, so that we'll have enough material to make our pleats. So the next thing to do now is to cut the rest open and add gum stay to it. I'll add gum stay to it, and I'll show it to you guys. Guys, now this is our flail. Do you see we have joined it? Remember, we cut out 2 pieces for one side because we want to pleat it. So I have joined it with the gum stay and also with the lining, and I've covered it up. And on this edge, I have to cut it straight. I have to come in by 3 inches from this side, and I cut it straight to make it look nice. Otherwise, it will now curve out in a manner that you will not like. So now I came in by 3 inches and I cut it out to make it straight. So this is our flail that we are going to attach. Remember, we are making the side flail. So now, since we want to pleat it, you can decide to do any pleat of your choice. You can decide to pleat it a kiss pleat. You can do that. You can also decide to do an ordinary pleat. Any pleat of your choice is perfect. So now I have also pleated one of it. The other one, do you see how I pleated it? So that is it. So I have pleated this. So the next thing to do now is to pleat this also, then attach it to our blouse. Remember, we have mapped out where we are going to attach it. We have drawn it with our chalk to show where we are going to attach our flare. So this is the front side where we are going to attach it, and this is the back side. So now the way to attach it after pleating it. So now after pleating it, we are going to attach it in this form. Just keep it in this form because it's coming from the sides. Then you take it, you now attach it in this manner, so that after you have sewn it, it will now fall and cover up the side. Do you see it? So you are going to attach it in this form. That is the way you are going to attach it. So I'm going to do that now. After pleating the other one, I've shown you guys the pleat. This is the pleat that I made. I'm going to repeat it to the other side. So I'm going to now take the midpoint, just take it together, and while pleating it, make sure that you measured here the place that you are going to attach it. For instance, where I'm going to attach it, I needed 28 inches. That is, and from this down part of it, the hem, I've not closed it. I will leave ½ inch allowance to use the lining to turn it. So I'm going to come up by ½ inch. So I'm going to place my tape at the ½ inch, and I'll measure it to know what I have. That is what I'm going to use to pleat. That is how my pleat is going to be. So now I have 28 inches. Do you see it? I have 28 inches, and also I have ½ inch allowance to use the lining to turn it. So the pleat I made is 28 inches. So now this is the pleat I made. So let's measure it to see what we have. Let's measure it to see what we have. I had exactly my 28 inches. Do you see it? So now the next thing to do is just to take it and look for the midpoint. Put it together in this form and check the midpoint. And here is our midpoint. Then you take your pin or you take your chalk to mark it. This is the midpoint. So I now pin it to know my midpoint. Then I'll now take my blouse and place it in this form. That is the side. Remember how we placed it? We didn't place it in this form. We now place it in this form. Do you see it? Because the peplum we're making is the side peplum. So it's the two sides that we are attaching it. So we place it in this form. Having taken your midpoint, here is my midpoint. This is my midpoint. Then you now place it. You place it in this form. That is the way you are going to place it. Then gradually take your time to place it good. You now place it. Do you see it? That's my half seam allowance. The half seam allowance, do you see it? That I'm going to use to turn the lining. And also on this side, that is the half seam allowance. And also on this side, and on this side, I have my half seam allowance. So now I'm going to sew it, pleat the other one, sew it together, and use the lining to turn it. Then I'll show it to you guys before we now attach our sleeve. Guys, this is our blouse that we have just DIY. Do you see the side peplum that we have just attached with the pleats that we did? Do you see how beautiful it is? Do you see it, guys? And this is the back. Do you see it? And this is the side front. That is the princess bustier dart. The next thing to do now is to attach the sleeve of this blouse to it. Then we'll now see the end results. I'll put it on the mannequin. Now guys, this is our blouse that we have just DIY. The blouse, the princess dart blouse with side peplum, pleated peplum. Do you see how beautiful it is? Do you see it? The side peplum. Do you see how it is? And I've matched it with the matching skirt. This is the skirt of it. So lovely. Do you see it? This is our blouse. So lovely. So guys, if this tutorial has been helpful to you, don't forget to like, share with your family and friends, and follow me on Facebook, IJ Designs, Iconic IJ, also my Facebook page, and on Instagram, IJ Designs. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.